Everything to do with driving a Tesla Roadster is right here. There are very few people left at Tesla can even rebuild one of these. This is the entire motor and transmission out of a Roadster. One of the things that's so great about a Tesla is the fact that they're so simple. There's only 4 or 5 moving parts in that transmission to fail, instead of like in your van that you're driving, it's got 400 or 500 parts in it.
Carl's famous among the Roadster owners. I mean, famous. He works on this car. He hand tightens every single bolt on the car. I can tell. Like if I was a blind test and I said, all right, who did it? Was it Carl or was it Tesla shop, the official shop? I could tell just by driving it.
He took my Roadster and he installed sound insulation and made a couple of other changes, and it became like a different car. So, and I just like the guy. He's very honest, straightforward. I like people who love what they're doing, and that's Carl to a T.
I've worked on cars for 30 years. The level of the guys at Tesla that have done what they've done, it's just crazy. I worked at Tesla from May of 2009 through February of 2013. And after I left Tesla, I didn't work on Teslas for the first year. And then the Roadster owners were not getting the satisfaction and the level of work quality that they wanted. So a few of them started contacting me. Now I'm working on most of them.
People come here versus going to the Tesla service center. I think we provide a better service. And I think people have just gotten fed up with the way service has been handled.
There's probably a Roadster owner in the Seattle area that still uses Tesla service, but there aren't that many.
There's a total of about 1,500 of these cars. I don't know the exact number. I don't know how many are still on the street. LED lighting, a lot of state-of-the-art stuff back then. Super fast, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. This is probably one of the earliest ones that people would ever see. This is VIN 45. This car here is VIN number 57. It belonged to David Ogden Stiers, the actor from MASH. He was a good client of mine for all the 10 years, and then in his will, he gave me this car.
The types of people that come to our shop are, range from, billionaires to, guys that maybe have $1,000 in their pocket.
So the people that bought these cars, all the ones who bought them in Seattle were tech people. They had to put a deposit on them a couple years before they were even built. So they put a substantial amount of money down on these cars in hopes that this company would even build a car. So the fact that these people even got deliveries of the car, you've never seen somebody so excited.
The tree hugger in me feels a little bit better at least, but the technologist more than the tree hugger. Right? I wanted to support this technology. When I picked it up, Carl took me around. This is how this works. This is how this works. He would take off little plastic covers and show me how it works, and it was just fascinating. This is technology that needs to be mainstream. I want to buy the car, and I want to also invest in this company because I want this to be the future.
I started out as a service manager for the Seattle area. Tesla kind of blew up, so I quickly was promoted to managing basically the West Coast. Everything under the hat of Tesla and the service and parts side is something that I was doing.
Back in the early days, service was amazing, right? Everybody knew Carl Medlock by name at the Westlake Center. He knew all of us. He knew what numbers we go, the last 4 digits of the VIN. Mine's 1322. He knew, right, 1322's here.
In the Northwest, 100% customer satisfaction was required. It wasn't an option. And so with that in mind, that's how we treated the customers. Tesla, they had a mass exodus where they fired people, but in My father's my case, we were let go under some political issues.
They terminated both of us within about 20 seconds of each other. The whole the environment at Tesla about who's going to get who next, that's who's left at Tesla, is who can play the game better. It's not who's better, it's about who can play the game better.
The Roadster community within Tesla, we were all kind of worried when the Model S came out that we were going to be left behind, and we were worried for a good reason. We kind of were. First, Carl left, and then some of the other people who were really good. And so one by one, the Tesla Roadster owners have gravitated over here.
There's a local body shop here that has, at times, has over 100 Model 3s that need paint work or body panels. There's a Tesla Roadster that sat at the Seattle Service Center for over a year and a half, waiting for one component. I just had a Tesla owner, a very high-profile local Tesla owner that everybody would know his name, told me last Thursday that he sold all of his Tesla stock because of how poor his service is. Handed me the keys to his car and said, "Thank you for coming to get my car." And this is a guy who owns every model that they have. And now I'm working on all of his cars because he can't get them fixed at the service center. He's 6 months for an appointment. There's a saying in the car business, the sales department sells the first car. The service department sells every car after that. And I've lived by that. I don't have any signs on my building. I have never spent $1 on advertising my entire life. I'm word of mouth business. I have cars shipped to me from Florida. I've had cars here from Los Angeles. I get referrals all over. I'm on the Facebook Tesla Motors Roadster page, and people refer to me all the time from there. And I have Tesla employees referring stuff to me. I mean,
You say Carl at a Tesla group that everybody knows, right? Oh, wow, what'd you do? Your stereo sounds better than mine. And all I have to do is say Carl. Oh, he's got some. And he did. He put another amp in it. Right? And so that's the thing. Carl tinkers. And tech people appreciate. We love people who can nerd out on and build things. We love that. And Carl's like a hero to the Tesla community. This car is hand built. There's no assembly line. There was a big pile of parts and a few dudes, because I flew down to watch it be built, down in California. And there was a bunch of dudes and they put it together. And he's one of them. So why wouldn't you want that guy working on your car?
Tesla knows that we exist, especially knows that my father exists.
Tesla sent me a cease and desist. I wrote, "Go f yourself" on the envelope and sent it back. They said I wasn't qualified to put body panels on the car, so basically we talked about it, and I said, "Well, who trained your body shops?" He goes, "Well, you did." There are no aftermarket parts for Teslas. The main reason is Tesla's just jerks. They make it absolutely impossible for anyone to do business with them. They don't sell parts to aftermarket facilities. They won't sell parts to me. And I just started making the parts myself. We'll take a good component that is not crashed or crushed or destroyed, and we'll take it off of another car that is good. We'll cast a mold off of that piece, and we will literally make a brand new hood or a brand new piece out of carbon fiber, and that's how we make the hoods. This is my Tesla parts storage. This is where all the used parts or crash parts. I save every little piece. I save even the smallest of pieces of these cars because Tesla doesn't have any parts anymore. So that's what I'm having to do to put these cars back together. Bumpers, there's my bumper pile. I have a whole bunch of new part storage, but all the used stuff is out here. We collect headlights. We collect anything this Roadster, even these pans. Even though these pans are ripped up and they're destroyed, I can take that to a machine shop and do a tin shop, and I can actually have another one of those stamped out, have the holes put in it, and make a new pan because I have the pattern. That's what we're down to on these cars now. I don't have any diagnostic software to fix these cars. I fix these cars because I know how the components work. I literally go step by step and diagnose it the hard way. And I don't have a magic bullet. I don't have a scanner that I can plug in and say, "Oh, this is what's wrong with the car."
They are locking you out of the cars. They don't want you working on the cars because as they've gotten more complicated, it takes a different skill set to understand what you're working on and how you're working on it.
I completely understand why Tesla's doing it. But they should have a certification program or a training program for outside vendors and suppliers and aftermarket people like myself and others that want to work on the cars. It's a good business model, I think, to start a line of EV shops that just do EVs. The problem is there's not a lot of money in it because not a lot to break. No dealership wants to sell an electric vehicle because there's no service work. The money in car dealerships is made in the service center, not in the sales department. EVs don't make sense for car dealers. They make sense for the environment, they make sense for the public, but they don't make sense for car dealers. That's why they're hard to push. You know, there's a lot of haters out there on Tesla, but the truth is, who else in your lifetime can you say innovated something like this? This is something completely new. Now, Elon's having some troubles and he's bouncing off the bottom here and there, but you know what? He still did it. You know, I think the guy's a jackass sometimes, but I still support him.